This is the training series for the Canon EOS 1D Mark IV. Today's lesson will be simply to just adjust the shutter speed. The shutter speed you can see on the top left side of our screen. And that is right there, 1/125th of a second. We are going to be using a photo shoot of a baby. So in the studio, we want typically at least 1/100th of a shutter speed to 1/250th of a shutter speed. So again, it's 1/100th, that's the least amount, and 1/250th of speed. So to pull up your information screen, you want to go ahead and just turn the information button on. The screen will go blank after it sits for probably more than 10 seconds. So to turn your screen on and off, that's your info screen. Info screen, again, your shutter speed 1/125th. So we'll go by, that's all you really need to know for now, is you're going to adjust the amount of light that goes onto the sensor. So if the picture is too bright, then you can increase your shutter speed in small increments. The first increment would be up at the top. I'll zoom later on that. You just twist the dial 1/160th, that's one click. To the right, you slide the dial to the right. Next increment is 200. It went to 250 because I went a little bit fast on that, and then 250. That's your range that you want to go to. To decrease it, you turn to the left. Step it down. So it goes 250, 200, 160, 125, and 100. That's your minimum. So again, adjust the shutter speed for the light. So if it's too dark, go with the lowest. That's 1/100th. And then adjust from there. Just one click, 1/125th, 1/60th. This makes it a darker picture. Up to 250. So again, that's all we're concentrating on is this number here. That's your shutter speed. For your information button, the screen will stay on. You just hit the info screen. Here is the top of the camera that we adjust our shutter speed on. Again, if we want to increase the shutter speed, then it's one click to the right. Your button is right below your shutter press button. Here is your shutter button, right on the top here. You have a dial right next to it. So you're just looking for where you press your shutter to the dial that rotates. The dial that rotates again. That's right above, you have your ISO button. So you don't need to touch any of the buttons. You just need to rotate the top button that automatically will adjust your shutter speed. That's the only thing that is not adjusted for you. So if the picture is a little bit too bright, then I would suggest just try one click, adjust the shutter speed up higher. So your first click will be 1/160th. To do that, again, always remember, right increase, left decrease, right increase, left decrease. So now we're going to increase to 1/160th of a second. Simply put your finger and rotate the dial. One click. Now, as you see on the top is 160. Again, if we want to go higher, we can increase it more up to 250. 160, one more click, that's 200. Another click is 250. So now if we want to decrease our shutter speed, that is, again, left increase. So to decrease the shutter, left turn to decrease. One click, goes to 200. One more click goes to 160. One more click goes to 1/25th. And the lowest amount is 100. That's your lowest amount with baby photography. That way you'll have the movement without blur. So bare minimum is 100. Your starting point is 1/25th. So on the top button, it's kind of hard to read. It's easier to use your main screen. So we're doing that. So on the top, you've got 1/25th. The next one is what your f-stop is. We're going to be using an f-stop of f5.6 today. f5.6 for the studio shoot. We're not going to touch that. Our ISO we're not going to touch either. We're going to use ISO 100. That's the lowest value that's going to give you the most vibrant colors. So 100 is going to work. So make your guy work. Your lighting guy needs to adjust the lights. You need to tell him you're using f5.6. So you could show him the top of the camera, f5.6, or your screen. Next, I'll show you the screen again. To sum up the lesson, we learned that for the photo shoot of the baby tomorrow, the only thing that we're going to be doing is adjusting the shutter speed. Again, it's basically three things that we need to know. First one is you need to have your information screen on. So to turn that on, it's just 1, 2, right where your eyepiece is, and on. And then on the top, again, right where your shutter is, you have the rotating dial to increase your shutter speed. You just click it to the right to increase up to a maximum of 1/250th. And that is to let less light onto the sensor. So if the picture is a little bit too bright, you could increase the shutter speed. If it's too bright, if it's too dim, you could decrease the shutter speed. The minimum that we could go is 1/100th of a second. So we're going to start at 1/25th of a second. And for a starting point for your lighting guy, if they need to earn their money, you tell them it's going to be an f-stop of 5.6. Also, what will help, you can look at your playback screen. So to playback, you'll see where the Canon is, right at the bottom of your screen on your left. It's a small button. That's this one. That's your play button. It says no image. Again, that's your play button. To get back to your other screen, you could just hit it one time and it goes there. Or if not, you could always remember to turn your info on, off. So then to play back the image, hit play, and then you have your buttons on the top. It's very top right, close to where your camera strap is. That is the minus button, that is a plus. So to zoom in and out of your image, it's plus and minus. So that's pretty much the lesson. You just want to be able to adjust your shutter speed and have the lighting guy do the rest. So we'll go back on the screen and I'll just break down again. It's a shutter speed of 1/125th of a second. You're going to be f5.6. You're going to be in manual mode. The next one is your metering. That's evaluated metering. We don't have to worry about that because that's in a studio. That's if you had auto ISO without studio lights. So the metering, that's not going to make a difference. Over here is ISO 100. We want 100. That's going to be your most vibrant color. The least amount of grain, so it's going to be your best picture. So they just need to adjust the lightings for that. Over here is portrait. Your one shot for your focus and your battery life and how many shots you have left, 341. But most important, we're only concerned is 1/125th as a starting point for your shutter speed. Increase or decrease it as needed between 1/100th and 1/250.